Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped, back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving back into the Worldwide Anniversary Treasure Map versus FUJITORA. We're taking a look at the Whale Speed Stomp teams to take down this particular treasure map. So treasure map goes live on the 15th of March to the 19th of March, and we are farming up for a new quick driven Cerebral, if I remember correctly. Powerhouse Cerebral, sorry. FUJITORA. This man has a final tap. Yes, as you can see, at the final battle, he gives himself 800 base attack. It's just kind of like, why? But it is what it is. And he's a goddamn super type. So we're getting some pretty interesting free-to-play characters. And it's nice to see that they are doing this kind of stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, he's super type. It's not that crazy. But removing the swap captain's effect is pretty interesting. And, like, just having a super type as a free-to-play character is really, really cool. The final tap, much to be desired, but like I said, it is cool that they're doing stuff like this. But in today's video, as I mentioned, we are going to go through my teams. I did put out a buildable teams for you guys. If you guys are struggling with some of the newer characters, make sure to go check that out. I'll leave a link in the description. But as you can see, it's pretty stock standard stuff, except, I'm just trying to find it here. This treasure map goes up to 15 million points, not 10 million. So get your grinding fingers out, ladies and gentlemen, because to get all of the rewards, you do want to go to 15 million this time, not 10 million. But as you can see, this is the point boosters. We are using Sabo, we are using Koala and Hack, we're using the new batch, we're using all of these characters that you see on screen here. And if you are a big old whale, or you did some summons and you're looking for some speedy teams, or even some ideas like for your own speedy teams, and hopefully these particular teams will help you out. So we're going to kick it off with Barto and Cavendish. They are a quick unit. The recommended characters are Ezo and Crocodile. Verse abilities level 5 and special charge level 5 for everyone, as well as cooldowns. You get empty orbs, percent damage of 10%. You get 2 turns of special reverse. There's 8 turns of resilience, delay immunity, and there's a 1 turn 25 hit barrier. So the team looks like this. We are basically utilizing Whitebeard on the final stage. With Whitebeard and the Whitey base support, you can actually just get around the barrier. You can give yourself I think you give yourself a slot boost, which it works out quite nice. You're going to be very low HP, so Whitebeard just basically provides you with all the damage that you need. Hiyori's going to give us the one orbs at the start, and you can actually use Whitebeard's super type, or super class, sorry, to actually wave clear, and then use Kid and Law on stage 2 to wave clear, carry their chain boundary into the final stage, and then use their end of turn damage to actually get around that resilience. The other 2 units, the Ezo and the Perispero, they're just here because they're point boosters. They work quite well. Ezo triggers the super class, so that's a big reason why Ezo's here. Plus, Ezo is the recommended character, so if you guys have the spare character, Ezo does work very, very well here. Moving on to Bellamy now. Bellamy does turn into a strength character. The Red Roc Luffy is the recommended character, as shooters, free spirits, and who else? Fighters get their cooldowns, verse effects, and super switches. On the final stage, you get a full board of unfavorable slots, 1 turn of special reverse. All colored orbs become unfavorable. You get a 99% HP cut, and there's 2 turns of a 2 perfect barrier. If you do a slot change, you go back to getting unfavorable slots, and there's 5,000 fixed damage on death. So utilizing Luffy here works exceptionally well, mainly because Luffy can give you a full board of recovery orbs when you do use Luffy's super type. There are some other cheeky ways to get around this. He also gives the cooldowns. There are some other cheeky ways to get around the cooldowns just by using something like Uta as your captain. That can definitely work. But I really, really like Red Roc, and I'm having a lot of fun using the character. So I do think utilizing him here is going to be a lot of fun. Plus, he's a 1.35 times booster. So getting the super type is fairly easy because you can actually use the free-to-play Yamato on this team. Or you can use the wave clearing Zora. So when he's Zora to Bink Bink with the 2 wave clears, then I'm actually going to use Sugar to turn everyone into bears. Now, I'm probably just going to turn the left column into bears, not the full right column. So Sugar gives us an attack boost as well. She then turns the left-hand column into bears, and then they're just going to go through those barriers. And then we should be pretty hunky-dory from there. And then with the other Luffy not being a bear, you can get his orb boost, you can get the chain boost with the super type. And it's going to work out pretty nicely that way. As for Yamato, as for the Lanaro, they're just basically point boosters here. But like I said, Yamato does trigger that super type as well. Plus, you can get more damage with them. But you have a lot of damage with this particular team. And you should still be able to eat all the recovery orbs that you get from Luffy, even though you are tapping with Sugar. You do want to make sure that you use Sugar on turn 2. Otherwise, you'll get turned into bears. Sorry, you'll get that orb rotation, and it'll just take longer. So turning everyone on the left-hand column into bears on turn 2 is the way to go here, and then wave clear with Zoro, and you should be hunky-dory. Otherwise, you can sit through the animation if you use Sugar after, but remember, actually, Sugar only gives 2 turns of an attack boost, right? I think she does. No, she only gives an attack boost for 1 turn. Okay, that's fair enough. We can always just pop Luffy on the final stage as well, so that could definitely work. Or you can just bring someone that can remove barriers as well if you don't want to bring Sugar. That can definitely be an option too. But nevertheless, this team should work fairly fine. Moving on to Jesus Burgess. Now, Jesus Burgess, this is just like a fight where you bring CatDog and you win. Burgess turns into a Dex unit, and he puts up a whole bunch of very nasty stuff. But CatDog literally take care of everything. Strikers, Cerebral Shooters get their cooldowns, Verse, and Special Charge. It's 4 turns of Paralysis, 99 turns of normal attacks only. 10 turns of Slot Bind on your top row. There's a 2 Strength Slot Barrier for 1 turn. 13 turns of Despair. Chain Coefficient Reduction of 0.1 times. And then if you're below 1.5 chain, you get a 90% attack down. Now, obviously, Cat Viper, Dogstorm, they are just built for this. They get their super switch, and then when you switch from Cat Viper into Dogstorm, you actually give yourself a strength orb. You remove the slot bind, you remove the despair, you remove the paralysis. You're just in a very, very good spot if you are utilizing this character. For myself, I'm still using CatDog, but I'm actually going to be utilizing Toki. Now, on turn 2 with Toki, I am just going to pop Toki and just give the Toki ability to my Dogstorm captains. And that way I get around the slot bind, I get around the despair, I get around the paralysis on my captains, and I'm in good stead there. Then I can use Izokiku to wave clear. And Izokiku, because I have 5 slashes on this particular team. No, I don't have 5 slashes. I need to put Buggy on this team. I remember now why I had Buggy here. This Buggy right here. Because I have 5 slashes on the team, my top row are going to get Wano slots. So then my 2 Dogstorms will have Wano slots. I get Chain Lock, 3.5 times attack and orbs, and just I'm in a really good spot here. Utilizing Shanks is a barrier remover. He removes barriers by 1 turn. It's only a 1-turn barrier, which is quite nice. And that way I don't have to worry about the strength slots, because I'm going to be having Wano slots on my captain. So the team should work fairly nicely. Like I said, even if you stuff up with Toki, you can still just switch with CatDog. You will be absolutely fine. Utilizing a CatDog special as well is actually going to give you an attack boost and a color affinity buff. And then they also remove the chain coefficient reduction too. But with the chain lock, like, that's not going to matter at all. Moving on to Trebol now. He is an int character, but he starts as a strength unit. Now, Trebol is super, super annoying. Trebol does so much annoying stuff. And Ace in his batch is the way to go if you're looking to take it down the proper way. Quick, Dex, and Psy get all their cooldowns, Verse Effect, Super Switches. There's normal attacks only, 8 turns of bind on your top row, which will go down to 5. Your middle row slots are unfavorable, and your bottom row get turned to block. 6 turns of burn, 5 turns of despair, 5 turns of threshold, and there's delay immunity. When you defeat Trouble, he comes back with 50% HP and gives you 5 turns of chain coefficient reduction of 0.1 times. Super, super annoying stuff. If you want to use Ace in his batch, like, go for gold, but it's just a lot of specials that you have to use. You have to pop Ace, you have to pop both these guys as well. It's just a lot going on for this particular stage, and I'm just not here for it. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm just planning on finding Trouble on the map, and I'm just going to use Caesar to wave clear the first 2 stages, and then with a combination of Roger, Blackbeard at level limit break 5, and the worldwide celebration, or not the worldwide, the anniversary exclusive Zoro, we can do a whole bunch of fixed damage through normal attacks only. You have 1 million with Zoro, 1 million with Blackbeard, 1.5 million with Roger. You're going to be fine there. I would make Roger my captain, but my captains do get binded. You could easily run Yamato, but with Carrot Wanda, you actually get a bunch of cooldowns. So Carrot Wanda give everyone cooldowns on the 3rd turn, and they give 2 turns of cooldowns at the start of the quest too. So you're going to get a lot of cooldowns there. You can even use Carrot Wanda as a wave clearer if you want to. Just pop their special on turn 1. They're going to give cooldowns to the crew, plus then they're also going to just do 100,000 fixed damage too. So super nice against Trouble. You just have to find him on the map, and you'll be absolutely hunky-dory. Moving on to the final fight against the big boss Doflamingo. Basically here we're running the full batch with Luffy and Ace. Now they do recommend that you bring Yamato to this fight and not Ace, because Yamato removes the paralysis. However, it's only 3 turns of paralysis, and you really don't need that much extra damage. So bringing Ace on the final stage, or on the team, just works out quite nicely. Dex, Quick, Psy get all their cooldowns, Switch, Super Switch, and their verse abilities. On Battle 2, as you can see, that's that 3 turns of paralysis, and then you get Despaired and attack down for 5 turns after Socket. So that's where Luffy is so good. You get a chain attack down if you're below a 2.75 chain at 90%, and there is delay immunity. So the idea here is to utilize Sabo special or get the auto trigger of Sabo to trigger. Use Sabo and then have Sabo auto trigger on the final stage. That can definitely work for you too. But with 2 Sabos, it's super easy to just bink him on stage 2, bink Ace on stage 2, bink Luffy on stage 2, and then you'll have all the damage you need for the final stage. On the final stage, your left column will get binded and your right column will get special reversed. It's 1 turn of damage null, 7 turns of damage reduction, 5 turns of threshold, and then there's delay immunity. If you also use a color affinity buff, you get 2 turns of special reverse and stunned for 10 times damage taken. So you don't want to get stunned. You basically do not want that effect, and that's where Sabo and his super type comes into play, because you can actually get around this just by utilizing that. To get around the damage reduction, you have the auto trigger of Sabo, or you have the other Sabo special as well. Hack and Koala remove the damage reduction, the damage null and the bind. That works out pretty nice. I'm fairly certain you remove blind, right? Yeah, you remove the blind. Koala also removes paralysis, but like you don't want to use her on the previous turn. And to get around the paralysis, we have a combination of Karasu and Rayleigh. It's going to 3 turns, super easy to get around. And then you just kind of use the left-hand side, use their specials on the second turn, and then on the final stage, just use Hack and Koala, and you'll be in good stead there. You have the auto trigger of your Sabos as well, so that's also going to work fairly nicely there. As you can see, a lot of points, and with a friend captain Sabo, you're sitting at around that 22-something mark. So that's going to be great. When you get the intrusion, though, you're going to get even more points. And as you can see, the team is basically identical, except instead of Ace, we are bringing Ezo. For once, they finally made the previous treasure map character very good for the next treasure map. It's like they listened, or it's like they played their game, because it's super nice to see that like that character is actually friggin' recommended. On Battle 1, you get Cerebral Shooter, Free Spirits, cooldowns, Verse Effect, and Super Switches. There's 3 turns of Special Bind on your crewmates, as well as Fear. 99 turns of normal attacks only, full board of block orbs, a barrier for 4 perfects for 1 turn, and 6 turns of threshold, as well as delay immunity. So as you can see, this is where Ezo is very good. Block orbs, barrier removal, and threshold's great. You do just need to use a Sabo special to get around the special bind. Because there is fear as well, you can't bring other characters that have special binds on the crew unless they have the fear ability. But what you can do on Ezo is you can actually use a support like Kawamata or Raizu, or even Kazuna Rare Recruit Viola to get around that too, if you don't need that much damage. Because I think Ezo doesn't provide any damage buffs. He might do color affinity, but I don't think he does too much. On the final stage, top row is going to get 5 turns of paralysis. You get 5 turns of special bind once again on your sailors. You get chain coefficient reduction of 0.1 times for 5 turns. 1 turn of your 90% attack down if you're below a 4 times chain lock. And for 1 turn, you get a slot barrier of dex slots for 3 times. So you got to hit with 3 dex slots, as well as 5 turns of a 10,000 defense up. So super annoying stuff there. But basically, once again, Hack and Koala, they get around the paralysis, they get around the defense up, they get around the barrier, which is really, really nice too. Like I said, Ezo and Sabo, their combination takes out stage 2. And I figured with Luffy, you can just pop Luffy on turn 1, and then you're just going to be in absolute fine form for the rest of the fight. Remember, you do have 2 Sabo specials, so you don't really need the auto trigger of Sabo. But getting the auto trigger is fairly easy with this team too, because you actually have Luffy to give you an orb boost, as well as a chain boundary. I'm pretty sure, does Koala give you an orb boost as well, or does Hack give you an orb boost? Yeah, so Koala gives you an orb boost as well. So like, if you have Ace, you could bring Ace here, or you could just bring Luffy. All of them are going to work absolutely fine, but I figured just like bringing Luffy was just going to be like a nicer touch. But you get more damage if you do want to use Ace there, so that's going to work out fairly nicely. But there you guys go. They're my teams. Nice and fast for you guys to take down the treasure map versus FUJITORA. Let me know if they helped you out in the comment section below. Let me know if you guys have any ideas to make them better. Like, I love tweaking teams, and remember, all these teams are subject to change. Like, I do think after sort of talking about it, I am going to go back and take a look at this sugar team, find a way to get around the barrier. It's a bit nicer there. So if you guys have some ideas, please drop them in the comment section below. Or if you guys can think of anything else that I might have glanced over that might be a little bit faster for me, or work a little bit nicer, please let me know in the comment section for not only me, but for everyone else as well. But if you did enjoy the video, bell the like button. If you're new to the channel, you haven't done so already, hit that big red subscribe button. But most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Late!